I am Pierre Maillot, and I'm going to present to you a work on an open platform for quality measures in a linked data index. Hundreds of RDF datasets are available online for different communities. Extracted from different sources and for different usages, it is difficult for users to determine which dataset will be the best for their needs. The choice of a dataset starts by looking at the answers to basic questions. Depending on the answers, other questions and requirements must be met for each use case. However, to our knowledge, there are no unified way to evaluate datasets according to anyone's needs. Multiple communities offer tools for RDF dataset evaluation. Each of these tools has different ways to interact with RDF dataset and different ways to evaluate the same aspect of datasets. This makes it difficult to understand the differences and compare the result. There is a need for a way to be able to compare different evaluations and to be able to share the declaration of the rules behind each evaluation. In this article, we propose to use the index framework to evaluate RDF datasets available through a Sparkle endpoint with different evaluation rules. The index framework can be set up to use any set of rules declared in an RDF file. It uses Sparkle queries to retrieve and generate data from the content of the dataset. The index framework has been used in previous experiments over more than 300 endpoints. So to demonstrate how index can be used as a common framework to define many different measures and evaluate endpoint in a comparable way, we focus on two existing measures for the RDF datasets. Those two measures are related to the provenance of datasets. The first measure is called fairness. Fairness is based on the FAIR principles that are general good practices for the management of online resources and datasets in particular. The FAIR principles have gained a strong following in academia and in the industry of several domains. In particular, we choose the FAIR checker implementation of the FAIR principles as they evaluate RDF datasets and are mainly based on Sparkle queries. The second measure is called accountability. This measure evaluates RDF datasets according to the description elements of each step of their life cycle. For the three steps of creation, maintenance, and usage, the accountability measure looks for the answers to questions defined in the systematic approach based on the question who, when, where, who, and what. Each question is itself decomposed into concrete metric to be evaluated against the dataset. This measure did not need to be adapted to index as it was already implemented in the framework. By defining the two measures in the index framework, we were able to compare the declaration and the results. By comparing the two measure declaration, we observe that there is an overlap between the elements that they look for in a dataset. We could also see that the FAIR checker was less strict in its scoring of a successful test than accountability, and that there was a slight difference in the way each measure defined what another dataset is. By comparing the result of both measures over the same endpoints, we saw that the common element of the declaration led to a correlation between the scores. However, we also saw that the differences in the declarations are shown in the score of some datasets. Thank you for the interest in your work. You can find the rules used in your experiments and the index framework online.